Yes, everyone. So, good afternoon. This is obviously a Armory TV special. Uh, as you can see from the banner down below, Aubameyang stripped of captaincy. Obviously, got my man Gumsa here with me. It's good to have you here, sir. You good?
Yeah, what's good? What's going on? You all right?
Oh man, yeah, I'm good, man. This is obviously so I don't know whether this is good news, bad news, whatever, or it's just the fact that hey, Arteta's grown some.
Mm.
Um, for him to do this and also make him not involved with the game tomorrow, that's a statement in itself. My only thing is now is what is that going to do with the camp going forward, and is it the right decision?
Yeah. Um, Definitely feel it's the right decision. Um, as I said, it's he's the leader, and for me, it's he's again got to lead by example. So you take a harder line with him because whatever you do with him filters down, and if he gets away with murder, what's that saying for the others? We've seen the
Yeah,
treatment of Pepe recently, whether it's fair or not fair. He's been, do you know what I mean? Not isolated out the squad, but he hasn't been coming on. He hasn't been getting much minutes. So if Aubameyang's not getting away with this, what's that telling Pepe, who for whatever reason is not playing? Well, hold on, your captain's in Spain getting tattoos and not coming to training on time, like, but yet you're moaning at me and not playing me because I maybe not be giving 100% effort, or you don't like my body language around the camp. Um,
yeah,
these things
yeah.
filter down. So for me, it's definitely the right decision. Um, and again, if he didn't make this decision, I think we'd have, and if things go wrong later in the season, we'll be looking back at this and saying Arteta got it wrong. So actually, he's got a set of standards, and that's he's just following that. And whether you're
But
the captain or not, or the fan favorite, you've
yeah,
got to
I I
abide
I,
by it.
I get that, and I think it was, I guess, in hindsight, if you look at it on the face, is that it is probably the right decision to make. However, it could still cause fractions within the group.
Mm,
Listen, with any institution like a football team, a sports team, whatever, you're going to get little cliques,
mm,
yeah, within the team. You know that Aubameyang is probably within one clique that involves your Lacazette, um, maybe Xhaka or whatever. You're going to get those kind of certain players,
mm.
siding with, or gravitating towards what Aubameyang does. So is there kind of like a danger that those players will kind of side or kind of like, I don't know, look towards to what's happened to Aubameyang in a negative light and not in a positive, as you just outlined there.
Um, can do. I said, like you said, you're always going to get clicks. You're always going to get. Obviously, they're going to be talking behind Arteta's back, regardless if it's positive
Mm,
or negative. Everyone has their opinion. However, we've seen what can happen if you give the players too much power in the dressing room because this happened to Emery. We've seen it happen to Mourinho at Chelsea. Um, and the fact is, there's no one player is bigger than the club.
yeah,
And as manager, you have to manage these situations. Again, I do feel Abba's really liked in the dressing room.
yeah.
Um, and one thing I
So
do
that's
want to
the
say,
thing. That's the thing, right? If there is, because we don't know the reasons why. I've heard one of the reasons why is that he was collecting his mother from France, right,
right?
or wherever it was, and he was coming back, and he came. He was supposed to come back on Wednesday, but he came back on Thursday,
Mm,
right? If that is the truth or whatever, and he was a day late, why is it causing such a big issue? Okay, fair enough. You discipline them. However, there's another side of it also. He's been. This has all been aired out in the public now
mm,
as to why that he's been disciplined by the club. Um, Players could see that, and other players could see that and say, "No, that's wrong." That's
yeah,
what he talks about. What goes in the changing room stays in the changing room. But however, you just come out and said it's a disciplinary issue. That's why he's been dropped. And he's no longer captain. He's kind of like contradicted himself in a little
mm,
bit there. Arteta has, and certain players might not like the way the manager has acted there.
yeah. It's a funny one. Like it's because I look at the reaction against Tottenham when he got dropped,
Mm,
and again, you then see who's really down to fight and who's really not. And I think football is one of those things where you're an individual in a team, and you have to differentiate. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, I want to be a good team
Mm,
player.
mm.
Equally, I need to protect myself first. So again, it's no secret. Abba and Laka are like the best friends in that out of the two. Do you know what I mean? Them two are, since Abba
Still like
joined,
that.
Laka looked like he started to
Yeah.
enjoy his football more. They're always together. Laka's got to look after number one. Aubameyang's already landed his big contract. He's on 350 a week. For
Mm,
Lacazette, he's going into now his last big contract. So regardless of minding your friendship, actually, I've got to do what's right for me, because when I was sitting on the bench all them months, Abba, you don't know the conversations, but Abba was still starting every game, and do you know what I mean? He wasn't then
yeah.
down in tools to say, well, Laka's not playing, so I'm going to down tools. No, I've still got to do my job. So
Yeah.
yes, there is an element of you've got your friends in football, but at the same time, they've all got families, they've all got their own personal careers they need to think about,
True.
and it's if you're, I say I look at Lacazette more than anybody, and I think for him, actually, this is now when you grab the reins, you kind of take charge, you lead, like you did against Southampton on the weekend. Because again, it's him who comes in when Abba messes up. So that's my bestie, and now I've got to kind of go and play, knowing that my best friend's now sitting at home or whatever. It must be a difficult situation for Lacazette more than anybody, because it's not like he plays a different position where, regardless of Mr.
Plays in his
Aubameyang, I'm going
position.
to be playing. It's like when you mess up, I now get a chance, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think for him it's probably the most awkward. But however, you've kind of left no choice, and like it can create some fractions. Like you said, he's put it out in the open.
Mm.
He hasn't told us what happened, and again, it could be something like going to collect the
It's all
mother.
conjecture at the moment, isn't it?
But at the
Really,
same
it's all.
time, those guys have got so many helpers around. Like he's so close with his brother, his dad. It's like, well, couldn't one of those lot go and collect your mum? Like, and again, this is not talking. It's a personal when it's a football reason. But when Aubameyang was off for the malaria stuff, when there was issues with his mum being ill, no one had anything to say. Do you know what I mean? If he was missing 3 games for that, I think all the fans would be accepting. I think the management was accepting when he was missing at that stage when his mum was ill. But regardless if you've gone to get it from the airport, if it's a tattoo, if you just needed a couple of days off,
Mm.
there's no excuse for being late for them reasons. Because again, you know what I mean, he's the breadwinner. So even that, as if I'm his advisor or his brother or whatever I am to Aubameyang, I'm saying you stay there and you work on your game.
Yeah.
I'll go and do your runarounds. Like all them players, know a few people who are close to players who, like one friend who moved up to Manchester from Reading to go and stay with a friend because his friend didn't drive when he got a move up north, and he was the runaround. Like he does all the divvy dabs. You just focus on football and
Yeah.
protect. You're the investment. You worry about football, and we'll take care of everything else. And like, yeah, again, I'm not. It's personal. You're going to get your mum, but someone else could surely do that. Like I
Yeah,
just said, I
mate.
spoke.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think it's just a case. Sometimes is that we don't know everything that's going on. I'm just giving. I see, the pictures of him getting attacked. It looks bad, right?
mm,
It looks bad, and it looks like he don't give a crap. And I guess I'm looking at hi Paul, 100%. Just reading his comment, 100% the right choice. He's not scoring and taking a piss. Now, fair enough, he's not scoring. Look, everybody goes through a bad patch in regards to
mm,
football and stuff. Taking a piss, though, is the one I guess I have an exception with. Whether he is or not, we don't know. That may be at the moment looks like that is happening in the media. It looks like that is happening,
mm.
but we don't know, as I say, the full scale of what's going on. He's been stripped of the captaincy. My next question to you would be, who would you have come in? My intimations point towards Lacazette. Is it time with his contract, discussions on, well, non-contract discussions ongoing, and the fact that we know that he will 95% be leaving, isn't it time to kind of appoint someone, captain, with longevity, in mind, in a sense that, put someone in, to kind of stamp the authority, galvanize the team together, knowing that this person is 100% committed and, to the club, and do whatever. And in the sense of, going forward, I remember when Vieira was made captain, we was going through a bit of it before that. And when he was made captain, yeah, he had a little bit of a tumultuous time, but he steadied the ship and he came out trumps. the problem what we've had, and the captaincy at Arsenal right now has been, I think, in the last 10 years or so, has been watered down. We've had 3 players now stripped of the captaincy: Gallas, Xhaka, and now Aubameyang. Right?
Yeah, that's bad.
Stripped in 10 years, stripped of the captaincy. Now, I know you're saying that you want Lacazette, but isn't it about longevity now? Isn't it about putting someone in who we know is committed to the club and who wants us and themselves to better themselves and to kind of push the club forward?
So I'm gonna hear a lot of this kind of Gabriel, Tierney, Ramsdale. I think long-term
Odegaard,
captains for me, Odegaard. I don't see Odegaard with it for Arsenal personally. I know he's done it for Denmark, but for me,
Norway.
Sorry, yeah, Norway. But for me, it's one of those 3 at the back. I think are more suited. However, I think for now, I'm going Lacazette. For the sheer reason, how many times do we overlook this guy? How many times is he the one who gets dropped or he gets disrespected a lot?
There's no time
I'm
for
not just saying about
sentiment,
the
man.
fans. No, no,
This is
and
a
this is what this is.
multi-million,
Dude, but this is
business
why.
that we're talking about here. There's no
But,
time for sentiment. No
and
time
this
for,
is why
you know what? You've been a nice
this is
guy.
why I want him as captain. This is why I want him as captain because he bounces back every time he fights, and he doesn't affect him. You never see any sulking from him, and that's what you want as your leader. Someone who's, regardless if it's going his way or not, he fights. Now I'm looking at the Aubameyang situation. He's been our captain. He gets dropped because he's not playing well. And again, I don't think he should be losing the captaincy because he's not playing well. We've seen
No,
Wes Morgan be captain and he doesn't start for Leicester for how many years? Like he's on the bench for 3 years straight as club captain. However, Aubameyang gets dropped for 1 game and now all of a sudden he's gone not AWOL, but he's back late. Do you know, it's just those little things there. That's not a leader to me and a captain. And Lacazette, for as many times he gets dropped and as many times he gets disrespected. The other week he came off and we all shouting like, why has he come off? Like he's been better, but he comes off and you never see any disregard for the club. You never see any disrespect to Arteta. You then see him next game give 110 again. For me, he was the one I was calling for to be my captain before Aubameyang got it. I think he's a natural leader. And actually, halfway through a season, with this turmoil going on, I think to give it to one of them younger guys may be more detrimental long term. They're going to get learning experience from it, but then the questions then get answered them. If things go wrong, we're then looking at, oh, Gabriel's captain and blah, blah, blah. Actually, let Lacazette take the bullets from now to the end of the season, because if it does affect his form long term, he's gone anywhere in the summer, and actually let whoever it is then take it as a fresh start from a fresh preseason with new rules in. Now you might have got rid of Aubameyang as a problem, you might have got rid of Pepe as a problem. Obviously, Lacazette as a senior player will be gone. So a lot of those issues which a captain has to now come into will be gone. Like we've seen Laka take the armband from Aubameyang. Now imagine if you're Gabriel, who might be a bit quieter in the dressing room. Now I've got to lead Aubameyang and Lacazette and Pepe. Whereas actually we've seen Laka's done that, even though him and Abel are tight. I've taken responsibility. When you're not here, I take responsibility for it. And do you know what I mean? It's just those little things which made to me it would make sense for Laka to do it for 6 months. Yes, long term we know we're going to need another captain, but actually it might make sense for Laka for 6 months to take control of that, knowing that, John, if it goes wrong as such, it's not going to affect Arsenal Football Club long term. Because imagine if Gabriel takes it and he has a dip like we've seen with Aubameyang.
What if Gabriel takes it and plays an absolute
he might have a
monster?
blinder, but we're going to get that from the summer, from September anyway, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? That's just my reasoning. I think he's natural, Lacazette, in the leadership department, and while there's problems, maybe he might be better.
Is he natural like that? I mean,
I think so.
Do you think that you okay? People like him, you know, the players like him. Yeah, he does what he does with the crowd. He gets the crowd going, etc. But is he talking the talk on the pitch? You know, saying the right things to the players, etc. Is he? I mean, recently I've been to the Emirates and I can hear quite audibly, White, Gabriel, Ramsdale, all of them screaming at everyone, for certain where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, who's supposed to be where, what they're supposed to be doing. I see all of that from those guys.
Yeah.
And isn't it time really that, we have someone As I said, maybe from a player that can see everything that's going on. And again, I come back to the longevity kind of argument. Just get it all in place now. What is there? There's what is there to lose? I understand, and I get the argument about things going wrong, but Arteta's already and Edu have already done their due diligence on players, right? In the sense of what they want from a player, and the criteria that they want from a player. Isn't this part of their kind of mandate of player of what they wanted? Someone who can lead. They've bought Odegaard, captain of Norway. They bought Sambi, captain of Anderlecht. They obviously now you got like the Ramsdales and the Whites, who you could say captain material. Same thing with Tierney as well. They've got ready-made captains who can take it on. Lacazette, yes, can be a good stopgap, but why not just get it in now?
Yeah, no, there's definitely an argument for it. There's definitely saying I'm not against it. For me, if any of those guys get it, I've got no issues. The biggest thing
Come
for
this
me
summer,
is
who do you think would get it? If Lacazette, as you say, is the stopgap?
I think Tierney is the one everyone calls for, but actually, I don't know if I'm giving it to Tierney. If I'm honest, like I'm Ramsdale. If I'm honest, I'm Ramsdale.
What is your criteria for the captain for you? What you got your team and you've got you've got a group of players in front of you. What are you looking for to be the captain of your team?
So even from last year, I had some real strong players, like good on the ball, like match winners. I've got one guy who's outstanding, and hopefully by the end of this year he'll be at a pro club. He's flying, but he wasn't my captain, and he had a big responsibility for me because what I say to him is he can make or break the team depending on his attitude on the day or what he says to other players. Because everyone looked up to him, it was if he was mouthing in a certain way, you saw the confidence just get sucked from everybody.
Right.
So yeah, it never made him really. He captained a few games, but when I actually picked one, it wasn't him. For mine two were the ones who get on, not really get on with people, but it's more their influence on the game and on the pitch. So how they talk to each other, how they build up everyone's confidence. So they have to have a level of respect in the changing room because they've got to be able to build up the confidence, but also they've got to take instruction. They've got to listen and follow and lead by example. So I need someone who's going to talk. I need someone also who mentally can deal with things. So when it's going wrong, they stand up and say, "Well, I'm going to take the charge. I'm going to take lead in this situation." And yeah, vocally again need to be very demanding. And I've seen it in Ramsdale. I've seen it a bit in Gabriel this season. I really have. Tierney as well. I said they're three leaders. I think they're just very different. And I think that's why I'm probably drawn to Ramsdale because I've seen him blister him, but he's performing and everyone seems to have a level of respect for him. But
Yeah.
equally, I think for Ramsdale, not say he has less to do in a match, but for me, Gabriel, you got to organise your back line. You got to make sure your midfield where it is, and you've got so much to worry about in that sense. Actually, does it help just having someone else doing everything? And again, during the game, you got your leaders on the pitch anyway. I don't not say we want to make too much of the captaincy, like because it's no different. Do you know what I mean? If Gabriel wears it to Tierney wears, I expect the same from all 11 players.
See,
But
that's where I'm a little bit different for you, right? I guess I'm old school in the sense, right? Because I want that one player, yeah, right, who does it, right? In the terms of like, look, listen, we ain't gonna get players like your Adams or your Roy Keanes or whatever, but there is, back in the day, I thought the captain, obviously not necessarily the best player on the park, but someone though who had that mental ability, yeah, to pick the team up and to drive them forward when it is needed. Now, that's for me what I'd expect from my captain to be able to do that. I don't see that happening from Aubameyang when the chips are down, when we've gone down, etc., or from when we need to actually dig in. And I could see players, like your Odegaards doing that. I like your Ramsdale. Why? The only thing that I would probably I'd say Gabriel in the next couple of years, not right now. The only reason being because it's a new country for him. That's
Yeah,
my only
yeah. I
thing.
think that's why I've given it Ramsdale. I think Ramsdale's been through the mud, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Relegated teams. So he's been there. And I'm not saying, obviously, the team still got relegated, but there's something about him. I think his connection with the
yeah,
fans. And I think
yeah,
he doesn't get intimidated either. He rises to actual. Do you know what I mean? The game when he slipped and
yeah,
everyone was onto him, whatever it was, and then his next one, he's like, all right, come on then. And but he rises to them challenges.
yeah. He loves
And
it. He
yeah,
thrives off that.
he thrives off it. Yeah, and I think that's sometimes when you watch the Roy Keanes and Vieiras, and again Michael Jordan, different sport. And I see it in
Yeah,
Ronaldo. I was watching a video earlier when
that mindset.
Atletico.
It's that mindset.
Yeah, did you see in the video when Atletico beat Juve 2-0 and all the fans were giving it to Ronaldo, and he's just looking like, all right, and
Yeah,
he goes to the
yeah.
next game and he's going to put on a monster game. And Jordan was the same, where they actually he thrived. Jordan said in his interview, didn't he? Like, I used to create problems that didn't happen just to psych myself up. So he makes out a player said something to him to get him to the next
Exactly,
level.
in his mind to get himself going. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that is a special kind of person to do that and who does that. And I think that's why I would like someone in. I think we do have a couple of those players in our squad that have that ability to do that.
Mm.
And that's probably why Tierney and Ramsdale are probably like the biggest candidates for it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty sure the watchers of this stream have other ideas. It'd be good to kind of put your names in who you feel should be the next captain. I mean,
Mm.
go along with Gumsa's. Listen, I think it's perfectly viable, and I can actually see it happening. It goes to Lacazette to the end of the season. Someone else is vice captain, obviously, if and when Lacazette's not playing, and that is the captain that you would see be the heir apparent of the captaincy for the Arsenal. It's certainly going to be a massive kind of. We just need stability in that department. Too many times we've had a captain that doesn't live up or shape up. As I say, for some people, the weight of expectancy is too much for them, and to be captain of Arsenal's, it's a big deal. It is a
Mm.
big deal, 100%. As I said, three players in the last 10 years have been stripped of it. And I think they've all been players really that, as fans, we've probably said, "Nah, that person should be captain."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the odd thing about it. If fans can see it, that certain players shouldn't be captain, then I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, something's going to happen where the captaincy does go away from that player.
Mm.
Let's go through some of these comments because we've got loads coming up. So
Yeah. That's good.
I know you clicked on a couple. We've got Nigerian Englishman. How you doing, sir? Hope you're well. Hope you're feeling good. Look, he was late for the Spurs game as captain. He missed chances left, right, and centre. I don't care about missing chances left,
Yeah.
right, and centre for in terms of him being captain. That's neither here nor there for me. Vieira used to get sent off for being captain. What kind of example is that? Is you could say he gets dropped and gets leave. Whilst on leave, he's doing up social media and then reports back late. Come on, listen. On the face, when you look at it like that, black and white, it's not on. He's got to be. You expect more from your captain. It's one thing a squad player doing it, but your captain, absolute no. As I said, the on pitch, what he does on pitch, being captain, if his form isn't there, I can accept that as long as he's doing all the other bits that I feel a captain should be doing. Hey, it is what it is. Do we have some more? We've got a few. God, we've got loads more.
In here.
Tierney or Gabriel should get the armband. I don't disagree with that. The only one, if it is out of those two, I'd probably go Tierney rather than Gabriel, simply because of the. I'm not sure what his Gabriel's English is like, and him being in a country. I know some people say it shouldn't make an issue, but I just think another couple of years, and I think he would be captain material, Gabriel.
Definitely.
Boots, how you doing? Players feel like they can just take the piss out of Arsenal. Nah, man, not my car. 100%. I agree, and that's the thing. That is exactly what needs to stop. Players taking the piss out of this club. You need to get some respect back into our name. The Arsenal, not Arsenal, the Arsenal, and you need to kind of get that back. So yeah, 100% agreed. Paul Spence, he may not sulk, but he'll be off in the summer. I reckon there's a lot of talk of Barcelona, and the thing is now that
I think he's talking about Lacazette in that one.
oh, is he talking about okay?
Yeah, that was in return to what I was saying.
Sorry, Lacazette. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but that's the only thing with me is that he'll be off in the summer, and that's the only reservation I have about him coming on.
It's like an interim manager, though, isn't it? Like when we've seen interim managers be very successful.
Yeah, but you know what that interim manager does? That interim manager comes in right with the hope of getting it full time.
Not always, though. Not always.
I would say 90% of the time.
Some of them do. They do. But yeah,
you trying to tell Freddie Ljungberg when he took it on, you know, if he come back with a whole load of good performances, whatever.
I'm thinking more the long terms. You know, when who was it went to Chelsea and they knew the job was a 6-month job. Yeah, where it's like, I could just focus on this for 6 months, get the best out of what it is, and then I move on.
wanted the job, but he got no, he wasn't interim, was he? Or was he interim? Was Di Matteo?
There's been a few.
League and still still replaced him.
Yeah, there's been a few of good interims who just know what this is the remit is 6 months. Like just inspired. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, you might see it with Ralph Rangnick at Man United. His is 6 months and he's moving on to maybe a different role if they could find a suitable replacement. And again, I'm not, like I said, I do understand the need for a long-term captain. Like, I really do. Like that 5 captaincies that Emery tried to bring in never worked. Granit Xhaka was never captain material. Aubameyang, and again, for all we're moaning at him now, actually, when he took the job of captain, we've got to put some respect on his name because we was in the mud. Yeah. And we need, and again, a bit like Ollie, where you need someone who's just going to bring the team together a bit because there were so many different factions and we was in a bad place. And actually, for that period, he did settle us down. He won a FA Cup as captain.
He did.
You know what I mean? And that's where maybe he should have just been 6 months to get us to the end of the season because of how you are as a character. The players like you. Actually, just do it to the end of the season to keep this club just ticking over for 6 months, and then we can readdress it in the summer. And that's maybe what should have happened with Abba. And to be fair, a report came out not long ago that Arteta answered him if the armband was weighing too heavy and if he wants to be replaced as captain. Did you ever hear of that?
No, but then again, you got to ask yourself, as a player, if someone asks you that, what are you really going to say? Yeah,
you're going to say, I'm keeping it. And again, I don't know if that is a way for Arteta to try and inspire him. You know, managers will play these little kind of mind games. But also, I'm looking at thinking, Arteta's obviously seen it and thought, you're not actually the right captain, but I'm not going to strip you because what's that going to do to you? And
I'd rather you
come out. A bit like in any time of a job where a manager will say, listen, this is too big for you. Like, rather than me sack you, you might as well go and maybe go in a different department or maybe go find something different. So I think that's probably what that conversation was. And Arteta probably didn't hesitate. Once this went wrong again, that was like, this is my chance to kind of take that from you now and move it to someone different. But yeah, let's keep moving on. Sorry, there's me going off again.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Amazon doc.
Oh my god! You got captaincy, changes, and we've got everything in this one. This is going to be big. It's going to be big. BAFTAs all around.
Yeah, for real.
Nigerian Englishman, Tierney, Lacan, Gabriel, 3 captains. You can't complain with that, really. You can't say no.
The nice thing is actually we've got names in the hat, whereas before when the Xhaka lost it was
who is that?
It was Abba or Laka, and even then it was still a case of they're not really natural captains. What we feel would be a captain, but they're the best out of a bad bunch as such. Yeah. So I definitely feel it's different now. I think any of them get it.
You've got to, as you say, I hear 100% what you're saying. And you've got to kind of really kind of pay respect and everything to Aubameyang for taking it on when we was in dire need of someone to take it on. And at that particular time, I remember his performances were stellar. So it kind of fitted, really. Captain was doing the captain's job, really. He was performing on the pitch and the team was playing okay.
Yeah. Move on again.
Yeah, you saw Captain Difasesky was unplayable, an absolute beast, and he wasn't necessarily loud. Yeah, I mean, he's the type of captain that kind of led backs. That's the category of captain I would put into leads by example on the pitch.
Yeah.
Um, he had probably had players around him who were more natural captains, like Koscielny, if I remember, obviously what was there. And obviously he had Van Persie and things like that, players like that. So remember he was captain at one point as well, wasn't he, Van Persie? I'd actually say, go ahead.
So it is with those kind of captains where, as I said, you don't always have to be the most physical or the loudest, but those captains are the captains that say, "Give me the ball," regardless of what the situation is.
Yeah.
You might be more senior than me, but give me the ball. And that's a Sambi Lokonga. I watched him the other day, and he made a run, and he literally just followed the ball everywhere it went, saying, "Give me it, give me it." It went to about 4 different players, and every time they looked up, he was the first one there. None of them gave it to him, but that kind of leader I
That's
do
the
like as
mentality
well,
you want
where
from your
it's give me
captain.
the ball. So I look at Van Persie. He was another one when chips were down. Give me the ball. Alexis, give me the ball. Yeah, Fabregas, definitely give me the ball. Like, if we're losing, I'm going to pick up the ball and I'm going to get us playing, or I'm going to find the pass. And that was my argument with the Xhaka thing, is you're the one that hides the most. When pressure's on, you hide.
You hide.
So why are you
You
my
go to left
captain?
back.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. So that was always my argument with him. Like, I'd much rather someone who's going to take responsibility, even if I mess up and then I take the
Give
criticism,
me the
then
ball.
albeit
I
give
still
it
want
to
to
me
get
again.
involved.
Yeah, and that's why I say I like Laka for it. And again, Nigerians put a good comment here that we pointed out about Gabriel yesterday, bossing man like Xhaka. So he's pointing where he wanted Xhaka to be and things like that, which I get. But again, is it all too much? If he's got to do all of that in defensive and
Yeah.
midfield areas and keep this bit tight and orchestrated, like, let somebody else sometimes take a bit of responsibility off Gabriel. You focus on keep giving us a clean sheet and let others focus on other jobs as well. And again, there's probably more to the captaincy we don't see in the dressing room behind closed doors, like just the organization. Do you know what I mean? And Gabriel's doing really well at the moment. And what I don't want to do is put something onto him now at 23, which he might not be ready for, like you said about the language barrier. So for me, let Lacazette take all the bullets from now to the end of the season. And then when the team's almost, maybe because again, we've seen how Arteta's working, I said he's fixed the defensive problems. You can see he's going to move on to midfield and striker next. Let him fix that with a settled team who, because again, the mold of players we're going
Yeah.
for, they're all going to be Gabriel's age. So now actually this might be easier to captain um, through that doing it at near the end of the transition rather than in this middle period where there's still a lot of uncertainty and a kind of there's an unsettledness within this squad again. As much as we're winning and playing better, there's a few little time bombs in that squad. Do you know what I mean? That could explode at any time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have to be wary of it.
No.
You knew this was coming.
Oh, mate, flipping heck. Rob Holding for Prime Minister, no doubt. Oh dear. That's funny. I agree with this. Paul Spence, Tierney gets other players going through words and action. 100%.
Yeah.
I remember there's times in the Europa League when we played, and he just, I think, most notably, I remember against Benfica. I think when he scored that game, I thought he was immense. Goalkeeper captains aren't good idea, in my opinion.
Depends on your character, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you've had some good goalkeeper captains. The most that spring to mind, obviously, I'm showing my age here. Dino Zoff, the Italian legend, World Cup winning captain. Peter Shilton. So there's a couple there.
There we go. That's what you think's of Tony's comment.
Yes, Lee, how you doing, mate? Yes, James. All the great captains are centre backs or centre midfielders. Yeah, I mean, you would obviously say, yeah, on a numbers wise, you could say that. Saliba for captain. Listen, I don't think he'd be way down the pecking order. I'm all for Aaron Ramsdale. He's my choice. I take it Guendouzi would be your choice if he was back.
If Guendouzi was still here, yeah, 100%. Like, and again, that's the guy who wants the ball. Give me it. I'll take responsibility. Yeah. Like, you look at them times where we were losing, and it was his. He might not get the assist, but it was his decision to play. Again, you know how Arsenal play is very pretty through the lines and whatever else. And all of a sudden, he was saying, "Actually, no, I'm going direct, or I'm going to drive forward with it and open space." And it's those little things that make such a difference as your captain if he's leading. And true story, my captain, he's a striker. And he went and played. We had a lot of our boys were playing for county, and I was like, I ain't got no
Is it
centre back.
Berkshire, your county?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he went, I'll play
Smacked
centre
them
back
up
for
back
you.
in the day. Sorry.
Yeah, behave
Just had to
yourself.
get
Yeah. But he said I'll play centre back. So he went and played centre back for 3.5 quarters, and we were getting beat 3-1 against a good team. And we just started to go for it. We scored a lucky goal, and
yeah.
then I was like, look, when we get the ball, you just go. We need to put pressure on. And no word of a lie, he scored a free kick and he won a penalty and scored it to draw 3-3. And that's the leadership you need, where he's playing centre back, but as soon as we got a bit of good possession, he just went and he was just driving
Boom.
with the ball. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's again those little moments which you turn around and say, like, he's played out of position, he's done it for the team, and then he's come out and
Gone on.
he scored 2 goals playing centre back. But it's just that mentality which got us through that game.
100%.
So
No,
yeah, that's
I
what you
agree.
need, them leaders. Solo, big up
Yes,
yourself,
Solo.
brother.
How you doing, sir? Hope you're well.
What do you reckon it is? We haven't spoke about this. Do you think he'll get it back?
He can't. You don't throw that armband on the floor.
Do you know what would that say to everybody else if he gets it? Like, imagine
No,
that just divides the fan base straight away again, doesn't it?
yeah. No. I don't even think he's that silly to do that.
Ooh, Lee, good shout. I don't think Laka wants to stay though, and again, I think this is the disrespect thing, isn't it? He's been in the situation so often with Arsenal where he's given a little something, he's doing well, then it just gets taken away from him. I think he's
had enough. I think Athletic is and one of the things I was alluding to, I was going to mention with one of the comments. Well, I thought is Aubameyang. I actually think he might go in January. You know.
Yeah, this could be it.
Because Aguero has retired,
so his wages are available.
And Barcelona. It's been mooted before about him going to Barcelona. It could well be something. You know, I mean, I'm not sure what the problem obviously could be the transfer fee, but
we've seen it with Arsenal where we say, actually, do you know what? Just take him. We get rid of the transfer fee, because again, if you're saying 350,000 a week plus bonuses, so you're talking, just say 500,000 every 2 weeks. If you multiply that by what? Has he got 18 months left on his contract?
Yeah,
that's a transfer fee in its own, isn't it? That's a big transfer fee in its own. So yeah, they might just turn around like we did with Ozil and say, look, just take him, because actually we're save money long term, and he's not firing. It's again, him being captain meant he started most games even when he's not in form. So actually, it might be like a help more than a hindrance. You know what I mean? Where it's actually like, I haven't got to worry about this problem no more because it's gone.
That'll be the last of the big earners, isn't it? Really, that'll be it.
Definitely.
With Lacazette going as well. Herbert A, how you doing? United fan. Can whoever took the decision of stripping the captaincy send an email to Man United? Certain Maguire needs to be going through the same. I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't really follow United to that degree to know how good or bad Maguire is as a captain, but I would think he would probably be the I'm not sure who else would be captain for United.
Yeah, that's what I think with United. Like there'd be a short-term fix in a Ronaldo, say, but I don't know. Who would you United fans? Who would you have as your main captain going forward? Because we know Ronaldo's only got like a year left there, really.
Yeah, or two max, I would say, he's got left.
Yeah.
And plus, he won't be playing every game.
No.
Paul Pogba is not really captain material.
He's probably going to go as well, isn't he?
Exactly. Fernandes.
They'll probably say Bruno. Yeah, it'd probably be Bruno, wouldn't it? But yeah, it would be interesting to hear what United fans say about that.
Our best captain since Vieira was Cesc, and that's nuts. I thought Koscielny wasn't a bad captain. Arteta was a captain, wasn't he, as well? So yeah. I guess he kind of understands the expectancy and the levels required for an Arsenal captain, and well, you'd hope so anyway. Lee, if you give it to Xhaka again, the fans, yeah, absolutely. I can't see that. That would be an absolute slap in the face to the fans. You don't throw the armband on the floor like that and then expect to get it back.
Definitely. Also done that one already. Let's say that for our gunslingers. James, you got to shoot. Well, you jump on gunslingers and talk that.
Come in on the stream, ask that question again on the stream this evening for gunslingers. Be a good one. Zoff, Oliver Kahn, Casillas, 100%. They're big captains, big characters, playing for big teams. James Wright, Ramsdale, James Ramsdale, I'm going to call you. I honestly don't mind the Lacazette for 6 months and then bringing a top experienced player in the summer to captain. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think the captain needs to come with the current crop of players that are there now, in my opinion. Someone who's kind of growing up with this team, who's there from the foundation. And I think the foundation actually has been summer just gone.
Just to play devil's advocate with what James has said, just say someone like, I don't know, Wijnaldum, or someone who's got known leadership qualities like Thiago Silva, Ramos, one of them kind of guys who've done it, been there, done it, captained some of the best clubs in the world, all of a sudden came in on a 3-year contract in the summer. Would you not then say, actually, that just so we know we got them lined up as well? We don't know, but Arteta and Edu know they've got this big character coming in the summer. Would you not say, actually, give it to Lacazette till then, and then Ramos is now your captain for the next 3 years after that? Like someone a bit younger, but you know what I mean? That level of player who's
that level of player would be seen as an outsider, and that will be someone coming into the group and they say, right, this is your captain, and then everyone's like, I don't even know this person, what this person's like. Okay, fair enough, he's done this, that, and the other. However, my thing is that what I think they're trying to build here is a team that is, built up together. Has that level of understanding and respect with each other. And I think if you look at why United were so successful with the players from the team, the guys that came through in '92. How many of those players in the end became captain of United at some point? Maybe for a game or whatever. Your Giggs, he was captain for a while. Beckham was captain. Sometimes. Gary Neville was certainly captain sometimes. If not all, they weren't. But they all had, because those players, because they grew up together, that have that level of, every other player have that level of respect for them and what they've achieved and what they've done and what they've built up with this whole crew. And they know United. Those that from through Finn, they've grown up through United. I know that these players haven't grown up through the Arsenal. However, they're at a younger age to actually understand and I would say appreciate the clubs that they've been at and where they are now and what the Arsenal means. And that's what I feel like might be a little bit of detriment to the team if someone was brought in to come in, to captain Arsenal.
And also, with regards to what you're saying, sometimes the captain doesn't have to be the loudest player on the pitch or the best player. Do you know what I mean? The captain, again, is everything, isn't it? It's about how they carry themselves in the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? That's their conduct. Like, again, depending on what your team's like, if you've got 10 fiery players, you might need actually a bit of a more of a calmer captain who's just going to keep things settled. It's actually, we need to calm it down. Like, do you know what I mean? More using that than actual the brawn and the heart. So again, it will be interesting to see who Arteta goes for. I think it's someone who's got a match with him and his philosophy as well.
Yes,
we can all see players what we like as captain, but again, sometimes it's got to be someone who, do you know what I mean? Maybe who matches with him and his philosophy. And I think Wenger was very much, he kind of got players to captain, because again, that stage there, Sanchez to me was our leader on the pitch, but he was never really club captain. And again, he might have had a negative effect on the players because of his mentality. Like, we've heard Bellerin speak about him, we've heard Rob Holding speak about him. I think the same as with Gallas when he was captain, because there's that famous incident where he blew up and one of the new players on the bus was sitting on Reece. On Reece, story on Reece's coach.
That was Nasri, wasn't it? I think. That was Nasri.
Whereas Henri's approach was, and it's cool, you sit there and I'll sit next to him, we just talk and I'll bring you in. Whereas Gallas probably could have just spoke to him a bit different.
Get out the seat. That's not your seat, kind of thing.
Yeah. So sometimes, again, with captains, we probably were them hard-hitting captains. Again, when you look at the Keanes, you look at the Vieiras, we grew up in that era. Football's a bit different now, and even managers, that's why Roy Keane would struggle as a manager now, because it's probably a lot more soft approach and arms around rather than boots to the face and hair dryers, isn't it? So
I mean, there's so many kind of stories I've got of captains. I'm going to go back, obviously.
Take us back.
Take you back.
We're going on to the History Channel now, not YouTube.
Yeah, History Channel. That's off them books and everything. So I think I remember Lee Dixon talking about it. It was his first North London derby, and it was at White Hart Lane. We won 2-1, but before the game, he said that he stood up, he got his shorts on and stuff, and he said that I think it's O'Leary and Adams were just staring at him, and he
Right.
thought, well, have I got my shorts? He checked, see if he's got his shorts on backwards or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just said, Adams pinned him up and said, "You know who we're playing, don't you? You know who we're playing. Just make sure you perform."
Yeah.
Them kind of things there.
That's a pressure cooker, that is, isn't it?
Listen. And do you know what? It kind of like brings out, it shows you what type of player you've got on your team, right? If that player, you've just given that little kind of like, he knows that he knows that you're not from London, right? Because obviously he was a northerner, Lee Dixon.
Yeah.
And he wants him to realize the importance of this game.
Yeah.
You don't lose this game. That and for him to perform and to do what he did then that game, he had a great game. Well, we all did. We won anyway.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like then understand as a captain, you then understand the characters you have in your team and stuff. And by doing those little things, that's what great captains do.
Definitely. You were saying earlier about matching with your manager, and I think this would be interesting. What do you think Arteta's like? Do you think he's the one to give out the hidings, the screaming and shouting? Because I look at, say, Wenger and Vieira, or Wenger and Adams. Wenger doesn't strike me, and everyone said it. He won't even say nothing in the dressing room. He'd come in at half time and just sit quietly for 10 minutes, and everyone's in silence, and then he'll almost walk out, and Adams will kind of get everyone going over Vieira. So he was very much I'll look after you, I'll give you the support, because Adams and Vieira is going to give you the dressing down. So them two will be the ones that will blister you. Lehman was another one. I hear when Lehman walked into that changing room, and if he's running there and you know you've made a mistake, don't even go in the dressing room because he's waiting for you. So those guys would give out that hard line, and probably Wenger will probably then come afterwards and say, "Listen, I believe in you. Go and do your thing, express yourself." And that was do you know what I mean? That was the nice balance. Do you think he strikes me as one who probably gives it out a bit? So his captain might be someone actually who needs to then go around and give the nurture at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, on the pitch you got a lead, but so it's them kind of things where it might be interesting to see who
it's
he
a
goes
tough
for.
one because a lot of his playing days was under Moyes, so you got totally two different types of managers that he played under.
Yeah.
Moyes was probably you're a little bit more up and at him kind of. He used to, was it Preston? Was it? I think he used to play for. Scottish. Hard as nails.
You can see how West Ham play. He's got that fire in him, and he
exactly. And then playing and his Everton team was in that same mold as well. And the thing is, with Wenger, it was a totally different approach where it was just basically based on I let the players sort it out. I know the players can sort it out. I let them figure it out. I've just been given a call up. So listen, I think we're gonna have to kind of close it there.
We had a good 45.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I think
a good half. We've got a good half of football.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, listen, Armory TV, discussing obviously the Aubameyang stripped of captaincy. We all have our actual favourites who we feel should be now the captain. Whether or not that will happen.
Do you reckon it'll be decided before the game tomorrow, or do you reckon he'll go with Laka tomorrow and then an announcement will come out?
That's a good question. Maybe if it's not Laka, then it's a good indication of where it is going. If it's not
Tony,
Laka,
make sure let's get a poll up on the Armory YouTube channel, Twitter channel as well.
Yeah,
let's definitely get that up.
100.
See what people think.
So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for all the comments and everything. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification as well so you get the all upcoming streams that we have from the Armory TV. Tonight, though, we have Gunslingers. That's at 7:30, so also tune into that. And, all things Arsenal and everything. We say peace. We out.